Hi guys, it's Katie here, and I am going to show you how I make my dirty tassel. I had a vision in my mind for how can I upgrade a tassel? How can I make it new and exciting and fun and funky? Something that was partially deconstructed with all the little wavy bits and something that would just show a little pizzazz to a project. And even when you put tassels on, you don't have to wear them out. You can always tuck them in. The Sandy Cove shawl that I have right now has a tassel, but it's tucked in the back. You can't even see it. So that makes options, we like options. So I'm going to show you how I make my fun and funky dirty tassel. I'm going to flip you around and we're going to get started. Okay, we are all flipped back around. And I'm going to show you how I actually make my dirty tassel. So this one is 3 colors because I am going to replicate the one that I made on my beautifully broken shawl, which is a 3-color shawl. You can use 1 color, 2 colors, 10 colors, does not matter. What you're going to need is your yarn. You're going to need some scissors, tapestry needle, which we're going to use not just to thread the yarn through to wrap it around and affix it. We're going to use it in another way too. And your method of choice for wrapping. I cannot stress enough that it needs to be stiff. It also needs to be slightly longer than you want the finished length of your tassel to be. You're going to have to allow some of that is going to be snipped off to even off your bottom edge. Also, when you wrap your yarn around to make your little ball on top, that will suck in some length too. So I used an iPhone to wrap this. And as you can see, it is slightly shorter. That accounts for what gets sucked up when you wrap here and what you cut off to make it even at the end. So keep something handy that is stiff. Our first order of business is you're going to be wrapping. If you look deep down inside this tassel, it's layered. And I did that on purpose. I didn't want any accent colors showing through on my ball, and I wanted these to peek out. Now, however much accent you want, that's how much you wrap those. But we're going to start with our main color. It's going to go to the bottom of whatever you're wrapping it around. And you're going to wrap. Try to keep them even. Don't go like over here and over here. Just try. Now, however many times you wrap, that's going to be how dense and thick your tassel is. So keep that in mind. It's not just going to be the yarn you see on this side. It's going to be the whole amount of yarn that you have. So this whole thing is going to be your tassel. So you want to get your main color body going. You're satisfied with that. Just keep it on there. Okay? Don't cut it. Don't take it off. Now we're going to start adding our peekaboo fluff to that. Whenever you're adding a yarn, you're always going to start it at the bottom, wrap it around the top, keep it in the center. Keep it in the center of your piece. I'm only going to do a couple. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do my other accent color. Stay down there. I'm only going to do a couple of these too. Now, we're going to snip off our accent colors only at this point. So snip them at the bottom, snip them at the bottom. These guys are going to go away. So I have my main color base, then I have my few accent color peekaboo pieces. Now we're going to wrap over the top with our main color. You're going to want to cover your accent colors. So kind of just work in that area, wrapping. And again, you want a thicker tassel, you keep wrapping. You want more accent colors, keep wrapping. If you want a 2-color tassel, where one color on this side and the other color on that side, that's how you wrap them. You would wrap one here, one here. And this dirty aspect, which is how I got all of my little crypt pieces, that can be done to any tassel. So I am about set. I'm wrapped up here, I'm covered up. And you can move them around if you need to cover things up. But I'm happy with the denseness. This one is not going to be as fluffy as this one because I wanted to make one that was a little less fluffy to show you. So your next step is going to be to cut your main yarn. Hold your yarn together. Cut him at the bottom. Your next step is going to be to take your main color or whatever color you want to affix to your piece. Thread it under. Make sure you have a really decent tail, at least 2-3 feet. Take him to the top, and this is another reason why I really like a phone, because you have a nice flat spot here that you can do this with. So I have a nice long tail here. It's probably at least 2 feet, 2.5 feet. Cut it. I have my tail. Thread it through the top. Now, you're going to tie this really tight. And you may need somebody, it may be helpful to have somebody's finger to stick in there. If you can't do it on your own, you're going to tie it tight. But it's tight. Regardless, it's tight. Make at least 2 knots. This is what you're going to use to affix it to your piece. So he's just going to go away. Now, we need some more. I chose to do my wrapping here over my little ball in one of my accent colors. So I'm going to do that again so you can see. I'm going to pick this white this time though. Now can be the kind of scary part. You're going to take it off of whatever you have wrapped it on. Try to keep it neat. I'm going to tell you to do is cut your bottom. Have your top up here. Immediately on the opposite side is going to be your bottom. Take your scissors and cut. And if this isn't perfectly in the middle, it's okay. We have that extra length. We can even them off. So now you have your affixed top and your shaggy bottom. What I do with this one is I fluff everything around. I don't want to see any of those accent colors up here, okay? So you don't see any, just like on this one. Now's your time to arrange it to be pretty. We don't have to cut a piece of our accent color for this. Decide how big you want your ball to be. And what you're going to do is lay your ball down, put your accent color underneath it. We're going to tie it off. And at this point, you can kind of play with it. How big you want it to be. Do I want it up there? And as you're tightening, you can arrange if you see any little peekaboo accent colors coming up or anything. Now, flip it over, and we're going to tie along the back. You're going to bring it to the front, and you're going to tie it in the front. I like to do this 3 times. I just find 3 is a better number for me. Now this last one, you're going to double knot it. Now at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to take your tapestry needle and you're going to thread it through the end. And he is going to go under and just down in the middle and off into the abyss into your tassel. Now, to get this wrapped look, I'm going to take my accent color. Be careful. This is your top tie. This is what's going to actually affix it to your work. Don't keep that down here and wrap. Okay, because then your tie is gone and you don't have that anymore. So just keep an eye on where he is. Tightly. I cannot stress this enough. I try to stack my wraps too to make them look nicer. Wrap them around. Keep wrapping. And just hold your wraps. If you got little pieces that come up, you can either undo the wrap if it was the last one, or you can wrap over it again. So, I'm happy with that. I like how much that's wrapped. So what I'm going to do is I am going to leave probably at least 2 feet. Snip him off. Now you want to hold this tight. Thread your tapestry needle. Now what we're going to do is just like we did before, we went over and under. You are going to go all threaded through. Now you want to make sure you end your wrapping on the top by your ball, just to make it neater. We're going to go under our wraps and out the bottom. Now at this point, what I like to do, kind of separate your tassel, bring them back up here, thread them back up through, right near the edge. And we're going to just come down. We're going to do it one more time. Come back through the bottom and off into the abyss. And this end will just be snipped to the length of our tassel. So it's coming together now. Now to get the dirty effect, before you snip your bottom and make him even, what you're going to want to do, how I got these little kinks, is I took my tapestry needle. You can take a tapestry needle or some yarn. You can untwist. Twist it in the opposite direction. And then you can use your tapestry needle to separate the plies. Now I just separated these, and these have yet another ply that can be separated because this is a 3-ply yarn. So what you'll do is stick your tapestry needle in the center of your ply. When you stick your needle in between your plies to separate them, be sure to keep them separated and don't let them just go back together, because that can be rather annoying when you do all this work only for them to go back together. So this is a 3-ply yarn. I have 3 strands for every accent strand. Now, decide how much you want. I recommend only undoing the plies on your accent colors. That's what I did here on this guy. And again, he's much fuller than this one, but you get the gist of it. Every single one became 3 strands. Very, very, very important to undo your strands prior to cutting your bottoms even. Because these guys, undoing the plies will extend the length of each strand. So, if you look on here, these are much longer than my regular ones. So wait to even your bottoms off. So, just pretend, for time's sake, that I have everybody undone that I want to. I want it as dirty as I can have it. And this is how dirty and kinky it's going to be. smooth out your strands, come to the bottom. Get them as flat can be, and snip away. When you snip the bottoms of tassels, you are going to have to do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Comb your fingers through, try to get any caught strands, and then keep going. Until you're happy with the length. Now remember how I told you before, that you want to pick something to wrap your yarn around that is slightly larger. I have not completely evened this off, but you can see between the ball and between evening it off, it is smaller. So that's the importance of doing that. Picking a larger wrapping object than you want your finished length to be. Also, if you are going to take the time to deconstruct your yarn and you really like these little kinky bits, do not block your tassel. That will relax these kinky bits. So, that is how you make a dirty tassel. I want to thank everyone for joining me and seeing how I make my partially deconstructed dirty tassel. I really love this. I think it can be used in a myriad of colors. You can even make it in just one color. Who cares? It's crisp, yet fun and funky. So, if you've liked this video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. You will get notified when I post more videos. Be sure to check out my podcast. I am the host of the Katie Knits podcast. And I have a plethora of other awesome fiber and yarn related videos on my channel. So without further ado, go get to making your own dirty tassel, and happy knitting, everybody.